Hey guys, Gary the Grillman here, but I can't deal with that now because it's Jurassic June. For me, this June has felt a lot like Christmas, but without all the kitschy stuff and the tinsel and a whole lot more dinosaurs. Today, we're looking at my very first Jurassic World Rebirth toy, the Tail-Thrasher Spinosaurus. Oh man, what a toy to start on. Whether it be scientifically accurate, the Jurassic Park 3 version, or even this wonky donkey Jurassic World Rebirth dork, I am always down for some spine lizard action. Jurassic June might now be an outdated title. Should we go ahead and call this Spino Summer? Because that's what all the next videos are going to look like. I picked this guy up at my local Target on June 1st, but not without having to ask for him. I'm not sure how many they started with that morning on the shelves, but they were all gone by the time I got there, and I had to trek around the store for a while to find an employee to ask for them to search in the back. Needless to say, hype for Jurassic stuff might be at an all-time peak. And just taking a look at this guy, isn't this an amazing box presentation? It's a relatively unimportant thing, because this box is going to go to the recycling center anyways, but this package is delish. I love this font used for the dinosaur's name. It has a crisp and clean feel that seems fun and in line with what we've seen of the movie so far. It's a really proper large package, and it sort of makes the toy seem like a big deal, which it very much is. I love this image of the Rebirth Spino, as well as this logo, which is really nice and clean with that teal color mixing with the yellow. I really love the aquatic focus to this movie it seems we'll be getting. It looks like many of the set pieces involve water, and the Mosasaurus and the Spinosaurus have prominent scenes on the ocean. Seems like a really fun summer movie. If you'll go along with me for a moment real quick, round the back we've got some nice renders, some basic information about the toy's gimmicks, and a little Mosasaurus cameo. Hi there!
Is that the bite of 87?
Back round the front we've got this silly little danger text informing us of the hazards of continuous rampage action. Man, when I was a little kid, I don't think I would be able to read the word continuous or know what it meant. We'll cover this gimmick more later, but here's one little tease. Opening the box up and getting this big boy out, we've got some instructions, but who even cares? We've got a croc on the scene. Look at this big boy! Look how handsome he is! If you can believe it, I originally started out very dubious on the Spinosaurus design, but I'm happy to say that love won. I officially am now the biggest fan of this goober in the world. Initially, I was upset because Spinosaurus, and I mean the real Spinosaurus, is one of the most amazing and interesting dinosaurs, and this design is so close but yet still so far. If you want to get an idea for how real of a Spinosaurus fan I am, here's my real Spinosaurus tooth. This is a genuine fossil. Needless to say, my bar for Spino design is pretty damn high. I feel like none of the details on this design are that bad. The head is maybe a tad generic and uninspired looking, but the proportions are all wacky. The neck is way too thick and the head is way too big. But after some time spent with it and seeing more of it in new photos and press releases and all that has changed my thoughts a lot. Yeah, it's not really paleo accurate at all, but neither is the JP3 Spino, and I love him as well. A review is coming for that one soon. Like, comment, subscribe. You'll stay tuned. You'll get it. Calm down. It just stings a little bit to me to miss out on the opportunity to have a perfectly accurate Spinosaurus in a major movie when we were so close. But this odd goose-looking geek, he seems fun as well. Man, it feels so good to have Spino returning to a prominent and public place. I mean, he never really left. He's always been a super famous guy. That sail is really distinctive, of course, but the whole aquatic angle plus the general confusion on what it actually looked like and lived like has added so much fun to this species. Year of the Spino, man. Year of the Spino. It's what everyone's been saying, and I am so happy. We're getting the peak Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus as an amazing Hammond Collection release, and as a super colossal, and then like 3 or 4 different versions of this Rebirth design. On top of that, the new Walking with Dinosaurs season has an episode dedicated to the Spinosaurus, which I'm so excited to watch once the series finally airs in the US. You're not here to just listen to me gush about the concept of Spinosaurus though, so let me gush about the actual toy Spinosaurus. This thing is really cool. It's very well detailed for a mainline toy, but also at the end of the day, it is still a mainline toy and it's kind of hampered by that. What I mean, of course, by this is that this Tadpolesaurus looks amazing, but can't really pose worth spit due to its very involved gimmick. It's an amazing gimmick, I'll give it that, but it comes at the cost of most of the articulation and posing. You've seen it once before, and you're going to see it a lot again. Here we go. Push this button once and he'll give a proper mean snarl and a sad little tail swipe or two. Hit that baby one more time, crank that thing over and over, and he will just keep on going and going, and he's just making a whole scene of it. It's actually a super fun gimmick, and the faster you push the button, the faster he'll go. It's so fun to hear those jaws slap around all angry-like. I will say that I find the titular Tail-Thrash very underwhelming. These joints, especially the very tail tip, aren't loose enough to really flap like crazy when you activate him. It's less of a tail thrash and more of a paddle wobble. I guess paddle wobble doesn't roll off the tongue as well though. Considering how much more fun the business end of this carnivore is, they should have called him Jaw Junkie or something like that. I don't know. I can't think of a good alliteration word for jaw, okay? Maybe it's good that I don't work for Mattel. Even though this feature is really fun, sadly all the neck and tail articulation is wrapped up in it and it's very limited. If you're very creative, you can get around it. Sticking a toothpick in a joint is usually a good way to prop them in whatever position you want for display or a photo. And there's still some nice arm articulation with the swivel and hinge, and the legs can each rock backwards till they lock into place at a second position. Unfortunately, the claws on those arms are unpainted, which is a downright travesty, but they are nice and big and beefy, which is good for his design. The feet have these interesting toes, which are not painted, but a separate molded piece attached underneath to give him his darker claws. Mattel's been doing this a lot recently, and it's a great solution to save paint budget. On this foot, he's got the scan code, which you can feel free to use, but I deleted that app ages ago after my Pyroraptor vid, so it's not much use to me. The very horizontal nature of this bad boy keeps him from being able to look down when propped up like this, but I'm not going to complain about more articulation. This is good. Maybe I am just a fool to sit here wishing mainline toys were more articulated, but I know they can be. There's a precedent for it. I remember the superposable Indoraptor Mattel, and I'm not going to let you forget. Good news is that the detail here is absolutely fantastic. It's really what sold me on getting this figure. The sculpted scars on his snout, the extremely fine texture of the skin, it's all wonderful. It's crazy because this is pretty much the same level of detail sculpting that the Hammond Collection figures get. The paint here is decent, I'll give it that. More would always be better, of course, duh, but what is here is more than enough to sell the image. I do love the color scheme. He's a very pleasing fella to look at. The dark brown with the mustard yellow, I feel it just ties him even more with looking derpy and kinda sad. I mean, see it my way, he's not flashy or extreme like the JP3 one, he's just kinda in the background there with his muted 80s interior color design. I really love him for that.
Wow.
I really like how the stripes start sparse, but kinda get more frequent and longer towards the end of the body. It sort of takes over for how the cream underbelly color doesn't extend any further than his legs. I really like the one little spot in his sail that's very cute. It's his little beauty mark. There's actually 3 different Spinosaur color scheme variations, though it's very subtle except for the sail. This one has the vertical stripes that look like this. Another one has vertical stripes more like this, and then the third one, and my favorite, is the one with the horizontal stripes. I'm hoping that when we eventually get a Hammond Collection version, it'll be the horizontal guy. Speaking of the Hammond collection, I feel like it's about time for some size comparisons. Here he is with the Hammond collection Giganotosaurus, which I was surprised to find he is completely dwarfed by. The Giga really is a massive toy, props to him. Again, not to harp on speculative Hammond collection figures too much, but I hope that when this design gets adapted that it will be bigger than the Giga. A guy can dream. Here he is side by side with the T-Rex, which is again a little bit longer. I was really surprised by these comparisons. In my head, while handling this guy, I thought he'd be a ton bigger. I was sort of under the impression that Hammond collection figures usually run a little smaller than the main line, but I guess I may have been wrong. I would still love to get a Hammond collection version of this design, but I'm happy to say that this mainline version is quality enough on its own that I can wait till then and I'll be happy to have both. That eventual HC version will not be a replacement for this guy. They'll both live together on my shelf as evil Spinosaur buddies. And for one last comparison, here's where I'd put my Hammond collection Spinosaurus if I had one. Yeah, it's kind of an awkward situation. By the time I filmed and edited this video, I should have gotten mine in the mail, but I'm filming this on Monday, June 2nd, and my Spino doesn't arrive till Thursday, June 5th. Guess you'll just have to subscribe, so you can come back and catch that video next week. Ain't that crazy? Anywho, to wrap this thing up, I had to get this guy. From the second I saw him in person, I knew I was locked into buying him. Like a siren's call, I was pulled back into Target a day later to purchase him with a very nice B-Day card. Random thank you to Nathan and Sydney. Love you guys. This guy is a big, silly, wet and wild time. Well, not really. You probably shouldn't get him wet because the batteries and all that. But he's wild at least. I want to thank you guys for watching if you've made it this far in the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stick around for next week because we are keeping this Spinosaurus train going. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Gary the Gremlin